And we're back. Thank you so very much for your time and attention. My name is Dejan Sneed, and welcome to Subsume Summit Creative Juneteenth 2021. And happy Father's Day to everyone out there and to you and yours. And we appreciate you all so very much for being a part of our show. So, this is day 3 of Subsume Summit. And with Creative Juneteenth, what we're looking at doing is trying to empower pretty much everyone to be able to tell their stories and agency and authority. So, for creators, for artists, a lot of questions that we get, and I have myself, is how to stay included in the people with the people I want to reach out to. So how do we make sure that our products, that our conversations, and that we ourselves stay engaged and be able to build ourselves not only as creators but as brands in a way that's sustainable and accessible to everyone. And so we're proud to have our next guest come up as part of our partnership here with Mailchimp. And so I want to talk to and introduce you to the lovely and talented Jocelyn Hardy, who is, I'll make sure she gives her own proper introductions and bona fides, but I know her as a program manager and product manager over at Mailchimp. And again, is going to be the first of many opportunities, we hope, for her to regale us with the inner workings of this fantastic program. So thank you so very much, Jocelyn. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you, young lady. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So we get a chance to chat a bit, and of course, I think we're both of the same mind that while Mailchimp is a fantastic tool, that there's a lot of little things, or I guess to say there's things about it that are great tools and resources that a lot of people either don't know about or don't get a chance to utilize. And for most of us as creators, all of us have some sort of mailing list. And the idea is that we know that it's an effective way to stay connected with people. But how do we do that with not only Mailchimp, but what's the best way to use this great tool effectively? So I want to turn it over to you. And by all means, we want to make this a fun and engaging workshop, everyone. So if you got any questions or comments about anything that you're seeing, we'll be here to the top of the hour, and we're excited to bring this next part of our partnership together. So first of all, thank you for that, and thank you, Jocelyn.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. Thanks to all the attendees. I've been working for Mailchimp since August of 2010, so almost 11 years working at this company. I've been blessed to work here, blessed to see a lot of us start businesses, start our online brands. If you've got an idea, you basically should have a Mailchimp account. It's kind of how I think about it. If you're telling people about your business, or if you're creating something and you want to get the word out, like, you should have a mailing list to get started, and you should be collecting email addresses, phone numbers, anything that you can. So when it's your time, right, to shine, you're not trying to figure out where your audience is, right? I think, Dedrin, I'm going to use you, if you don't mind, as an example.
Don't use you. It's so fine. I'm used to being an example of what not to do, so it's fair enough.
Well, that's what I wanted to kick off with, because when you were getting the summit ready and you were looking at your audience, you had thousands and thousands of people. Like, that was something that you've been collecting as you've been doing these summits and these projects, and you had a sign-up form and all that going. So when you were ready to get the word out, all you had to do was hit send. So that you had the easy part, right? Like, taken away. But a lot of people don't realize that you need an audience and you need somewhere to keep it. And Mailchimp has a CRM at its core. And I'll actually show you, if you don't mind, how that works.
Please.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to go over Mailchimp 101. I'm going to do a screen share if I can figure that out.
Oh, easily. Oh, yes, ma'am.
I'm going to do a demo. So I'm going to just explain what Mailchimp is for folks who don't know, but it's a software for small businesses. It's online software, and they do have a free account, but it sounds like we only do email because Mailchimp is in the name. When we started out with just email, but we actually have commerce. We just launched our ability to start an online store with Mailchimp. We have appointments now. So if you have consulting, or maybe you're doing some one-on-one work where people need to book or schedule some one-on-one time with you, we have that capability. We also have surveys, like I said, email, postcards, websites, the ability to do digital ads. You can schedule social media posts with Mailchimp on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. You can do just a lot more than just email. But it all starts with just building your audience. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Just getting all those folks in, growing your audience. So when it's time to get the word out, you're not wondering what I should do next, because it's actually like a million steps. And Dedrin, please feel free to share your testimony. I feel like that's what we did the last couple of weeks here.
No, absolutely. I stand before the congregational center, and I did not utilize my network of people and processes the right way. It was the opportunity of and we had known each other for a moment. It wasn't until very recently that we got a chance to reconnect, and it was the idea of, I knew that I had this program, and I knew that I had a lot of people through the years that I'd had a chance to engage with, but it was the idea of just, it seemed like a too daunting a task, making audiences and doing these other parts. But once I really got into it, it's very automated. I think most of the work is the setup, right? And I think for a lot of people, and people like myself, I get caught up in the details. Well, what's this setup and what does this button do? And eventually it just left where I wasn't connecting directly with my audience. But I saw that as definitely an opportunity here for the Subsume Summit. Well, we've had a lot of great people, not only be participating, but wanting to follow up and reach out. And especially with what we want to be as the future of Subsume, where we're looking at trying to build communities, based on our events. We wanted to make sure that at least this time we were setting ourselves up for success. And so, we've had a couple of one-on-ones and actually went through and took some of these steps. And again, at the end of the day, really demystified a lot of it, because to your point, now it's so much more than just email. But I think it's the idea of now having at least a good perspective of what I can do to better communicate with my audience, because that was definitely an opportunity coming into this creative Juneteenth. And as a creative who knows technology, I knew better, but I just didn't do better. But it was to the point of just taking that time to learn the steps and say, okay, this is just part of that process of being creative, is you have to have that acumen of technology. And so that's part of our premise with Subsume, right? Is we want to show creatives how to use technology, and how technologists can be more creative, in their technical careers. And that same silo that I talk about, we need to break down. I had to break down myself to better utilize this program. And once I liked it, I loved it. And so the idea was to keep learning and keep engaging with Mailchimp. And here we are.
Right. Because you said a mouthful just now, and we really appreciate that. But it's all about focusing on, marketing and creativity. Really, they mix well, and they're kind of, you need that in order to market smarter and to reach your audience. Like, people don't just listen to the basic, boring stuff. They listen to things that really resonate with them, and they're really listening to you, and they're your fans because of your creativity. Mailchimp is just a platform to get the word out. It's just a communication channel, right? Mm-hmm. So it really depends on who you are, your brand, your personality, and you really have to spend time on that first, right? And get the one-on-one. That's why we're here today, talk about that foundational piece. And then you can spend time, automating, getting your marketing pieces, getting your, sign-up forms and all that runs in the background, so that can work for you on your websites, and all your own channels can start to work for you while you work on your creative juices and all that, right? All of your God-given talents. So I'm just going to share my one-on-one workflow, which is a lot. Like Dedrin said, I am a program manager. I work on Mailchimp Academy, so I build courses for Mailchimp. So I'm going to actually pull up a sample of how the courses work, so that in case you're looking at what Mailchimp can do, this is a high-level overview of the marketing platform and our commerce platform at once. So I'm going to share my screen, which is, see what I can do here. Mm-hmm. Let me know. Can you see my screen?
I'm going to add it to your stream now. Here we go.
Okay. Ooh, no, already shared. I'm not sure what I'm going to present so you can see it bigger. All right. So this is my framework that we have in Mailchimp Academy. So if you're using Mailchimp or any marketing platform, please look at your marketing strategy holistically. Like, don't even look at getting into a marketing platform until you have a strategy. Sit down with someone, sit down with a pen and paper, a consultant, a Mailchimp expert, a marketing expert, whoever that may be, and you can start at this framework with what is your collection strategy? Do you have a CRM? So if you're meeting someone in a meeting, or if you're meeting someone on LinkedIn and you've connected and you have their email address, are you putting that email address somewhere? Is it not sitting on a notebook? It's not sitting in Gmail. It should be sitting in a marketing CRM. So when you need to market and add that person to your audience, when you need to email that person, you need to send them to your website via email, you have them in some sort of CRM where you have collected all of those touch points and see how they engage. Do they open? Do they click? Right? Do they buy from you? All of those things need to be marketed and saved in a CRM. So you start there with your collection strategy. And you really need a website. I really truly believe that everybody that has a brand, a creator, I don't care if you're selling something or not. If you have something to say, a website should be your very first start, right? So Mailchimp offers the ability to create websites for you. They're very extremely basic. It should take you literally 5 to 10 minutes to get something up. You can buy a custom domain. You can even get a free domain if you need it, but it gives you an online presence. That way, if someone wants to learn from you, they want to stay connected, send them to your website. It's no longer the business card. You need an online presence these days. It's 2021. There's no excuse not to have some kind of website. If you can't do a website, your second step down is a landing page, right? A landing page is simply a one-page website. That's all you need. Add an image, add some of your products, even if you're selling something, add a sign-up form so that folks can start to enter their email address. One cool thing that folks are doing these days is making ebooks. You can use that, send an automated email. So if somebody comes to your landing page, enters their email address, 10 seconds later, they get an automated email with an ebook, a download, right? Like that takes 10 seconds, maybe, Dedrin. We set up an automated email.
I was gonna say, I was like, yeah, sure, 10 seconds. That sounds about right.
It did take us, a couple hours to set up an automated workflow for this whole event, right? So, I mean, as long as you have it mapped out, you have to start simple, but as long as you have a sign-up form in place, you can really trigger some automated emails to keep the conversation going. Because once you collect somebody's email address, you want to continue talking to them all the time, not just as soon as they enter their email address, they never hear from you, right? So you need to enter your email address, have a conversation maybe once a month, send them a couple updates. You don't want to have an audience of 4,000 or 5,000 or even 100 to 200 people sitting there for a year or two and they never hear from you. You know, if you're building something, you have ideas, even if you're doing doodles, every month or working on a project, give them some kind of update at least once a month and let them know what you're working on, right? Like it doesn't have to be the finished product. We want to hear about your story, your struggles, your challenges, what it took to get there. We want to invest in you from the beginning all the way to the end. Don't wait till everything is grand and you're ready to go. Even if you're having an event, and you only got one speaker lined up, tell us about that one speaker, right? Or even if you just have the date, tell us that, registration is coming soon. This is what I'm working on. Just give us updates so that we are not hearing silence, right? Because people forget about you. They really do.
Beautiful.
You're not in their inbox. So make sure, and they have an inbox of, 1 million emails, right? We get coupons, we get emails from everybody. But just make sure that you're one of those people. So when it's time for you to really shine, they're not wondering, oh, how did they get my email 2 or 3 years later when you finally decide to get up and send an email again. So that's one of the things I do want to highlight. I'm going to move to this quickly because I know we're low on time, but your collection strategy really is your most important thing. And you can get a mobile app, the Mailchimp app, collect signups on the go, website, sign-up forms, landing pages. Those are all things that work for you while you're asleep, working on your creative flows. those collection strategies work for you. You just have to do the work of communicating and putting the word out there. Once you have your collection strategy in place, you need to organize, then you can really personalize. People really need to hear from them, and they need to know that you build a relationship with them. So when Dedrin sends an email to them, to me, my email needs to be personalized. Hello, Jocelyn, not just hello, right? Like I need to see that he knows me personally. Then I'm not just one out of 1,000, that we've built a one-on-one communication touch point through email, and he recognizes, hey, I purchased a ticket. Send me the information on the next steps and the next steps and the next steps. So you continue to build a one-on-one relationship in bulk, but I don't know that as the recipient, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just make sure you have that personalized experience. It is all about that experience for the consumer at the end of the day. Then once you figure out how to personalize, you can market. And it's not just email anymore, right? We're talking about social posts, digital ads, postcards. So when people are tired of the inbox, send them something in the mail, landing pages, like I said, automated emails. You can send all kinds of personalized content through Mailchimp's Content Studio, which is basically like Photoshop and Mailchimp, is what I like to call it. And then once you put all of that, your marketing strategy in one, guess what? You gotta do it all over again. Every time. So you need to optimize. So with every campaign, you should be A/B testing. You should be looking at your reports. You should be figuring out a good time to send your email. I know we work up to the wee hours at night, us creatives, and we're saying, okay, we're done with this email. Let's hit send, right? But 4 a.m. is not always the best time to send an email. You need to start sending your email at optimal times, which is typically around 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. when folks open in the morning, to 6 to 8 p.m. at night. So you need to make sure that you're hitting the inbox right when, at the right time, at the right place. That's what marketing is. Getting that right message, right place to the right people at the right time. It's a lot, right? But when you start to do it, you're going to mess up. So expect to fail in the beginning. But once you start to fail and you start to figure out, what things am I going to do right? Like, how am I building audiences? Should I spend money on ads? Yes. But should I spend money on different types of ads? You start to figure out what works for you in your business, and you start to grow. And it's a really cool thing. But you just have to realize you have to trust the process, just like anything else. Cool.
Nice.
So I'm going to do the last 20 minutes. I'm going to do a quick demo of Mailchimp so that you can see what the chimp is like on the inside. And this is Mailchimp. So it's a very basic platform for small businesses. And every time you log in, you get a dashboard of your performance. So like I said, you don't want to just log in and go straight to creating campaigns. You want to be looking at your open rate, your click rate, your audience, right? Your audience should be growing hopefully every day, every month, every week. You should be using all different touch points to grow your lists. And I talked about audience a lot in the beginning, and I'm going to click on the audience tab just to show you how this goes. This is a prime example of an account, and this is my just dead account that I don't do anything with. And this is a good example of most folks who grow their list and they have thousands of people, and then that have been growing their list for months and months and years, but no new contacts, right? It just sits there, right? So nothing has been coming in recently, no new subscribers, but I have 3,000 folks just sitting in here just waiting to be reached out to. So that's what I'm talking about. If you have an always on marketing strategy and you're always building new contacts, if you're meeting new people, this number should be 10 to 100 every month. But that's the lowest. So that should be your goal, to have this number. Your number of new contacts should be growing all the time. As you meet new people, I need to automatically be added to the list as long as I have permission, right? So you're wasting time, you're wasting money if this isn't growing. But Mailchimp gives you the ability to tag folks, which if you signed up and you're here at this summit and you got a ticket, hopefully you were tagged, and the tag will actually allow you to trigger different campaign types. So if I hit target with campaign, I can send any of those folks an email I can send them a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad, or I can even send them a postcard if I have their physical address. So it gives you some ideas so that you're not just saying, oh, I'm just going to send a boring email. Like something different, right? Like try sending an ad on Instagram where people might be, sitting at more often. Of course, creating an ad is going to cost you money, where email is going to more often be free. But an ad might help you get more views and build your brand versus an email. It just depends on your goal. One thing that I want to show you is Mailchimp 101. If you're new to Mailchimp and you're not sure, like there's a hidden gem here. It's called Let Us Guide You. So depending on your goals, like I said, if you need to build your brand, meaning you don't have a pot to piss in, is what my grandma used to call it, right? You don't know where to start. So you just know you have a brand, you know you have a goal and you have a dream, right? You can always send people to a form, right? You can send your mom to a form, your cousin to a form, your neighbors to a form. Send somebody your link. I know you have this whole summit. You could send us, you should be networking, right? So everyone should be sending their links to their website. We should be networking. We should be connecting. We should be supporting each other. We should be building each other up, sharing each other's lists, landing pages and all that, right? These are lost opportunities. That's why we do these things, to help support one another. And it's not about money. It's about support. So even if you just open or click my email, that's support. It doesn't have to be financial. That's just at the end of the day, you're showing that you're interested in what I bring to the table as a creative. So this helps you, with the pop-up form. If you have a website, you can build a landing page, which is free with Mailchimp. If you want to spend some money, create an ad, just throw it out there. See how people, are going to resonate with what you have. If you want to send a survey, maybe you're not sure on how to grow your business, or you're not sure to build a website or a product. Maybe you want to send some folks, hey, I'm not sure, tell me your thoughts, and you want to collect those thoughts like in a database, not just in a text message or in a chat. Like really take those thoughts and what people have to say seriously. And get official and serious with your business. And this will help you start to build your brand. Once you start to build your brand, you can connect with your contacts. You can send automated emails, those welcome emails, to help people grow with your brand. Tell them how to get to your website as soon as they sign up to your audience. Tell them how to get on your social media channels. Tell them when you go live, right? Tell them, when you have a pop-up shop, or when you're having a class, right? All those different things. If you have a blog, people still blog these days, but just in different forms. It might be YouTube, you might blog, or you might go live every now and then. Those are different options. You can share those updates in Mailchimp. Just make sure you're continuing the conversation as soon as you get those contacts, right? Done a lot to acquire. It costs a lot of time and money to acquire a new customer, but it also requires a lot of time to retain them too. So just remember that. So once you acquire, you retain your customer, now you got to get them to convert, which is another step. These are all things one-on-one, marketing one-on-one, and those journeys, and they're all touch points, all the way from the beginning all the way to the end. So you want to think about, if you need to sell something online. I heard some comic book conversations going on. If you need to sell, get the word out, again, use those ads. Mailchimp will say, like, throw an ad out there, create a lookalike audience. It'll tell you how much revenue you got from those ads. So that way you can see the impact. It's not a black hole. Once you connect your e-commerce store to Mailchimp, or build your store on Mailchimp, you can actually see what sales came in from your email, from your ads, from all those different channels, from your landing pages. So you can see where those dollars are coming from. You just have to connect those integrations. And then once you start to get those customers, they need to be repeat buyers, right? You need to thank people from buying from you. Don't let it be that one-time purchase, right? Like if they're buying something from you, thank them, and even recommend some complimentary products. Maybe even recommend, a complimentary business, right? If somebody, bought a comic book, or maybe somebody bought a product from you, have them support somebody else in your community, right? So it's just these things, you have to think about it, not just you, but as a community as a whole. Like, how can we support one another? So these are all things that you can think about in just this one page. Once you have people build their loyalty, how can you continue to bring them back, right? So how can you win back people who have kind of lapsed and kind of fell asleep and took a nap, is what I call them. Right. How can you wake them back up, give them a snack? Maybe that's a coupon, right? Maybe it's something different. Maybe it's a different flavor of something you might want to throw out there and experiment with something different that you might not have with some of your other customers. Maybe you want to do a sneak peek event to bring some folks back, to say, this is just for you. I know we've all gotten those emails before. We fell for the okie doke, is what I like to say. It's not exclusive. It's just a strategy to kind of wake you up to get you to be loyal or coming back. But like I said, these are all things, and it's all in this menu. And so a lot of people don't realize, like, you really just have to hit create, just like you do with anything. You just have to hit create. You just have to go for it. And you have all these different things. You can create an email. I'm not going to go through, I don't know what time we have here. I only have about 15 minutes. I maybe could, but, once you create an email in Mailchimp, you can pretty much create anything. And Dedrin, you can tell me if I'm wrong here, but that's my belief. It's pretty simple. Just like any other email, you can hit your to, your from, your subject line, and then you design your content. And then once you design your content, which is just designing a regular old email, that's it. You have a header, footer, and that's it. You just decide a CTA, tell people where to go. And it's not rocket science. But some people do make it rocket science, and they get anxious, and I'm one of those people. But we guide you, but once you figure this out, right, all you have to do is hit continue and hit send. And you have all these different options. You can drag in images, which is just reuse what you already have, those assets you already have on your website, right, those assets you already have on your social media channels. Don't create something new just for email. Like, just reuse what you already have so that your brand is consistent and folks recognize it from your website to social media, so you're not doing something like just totally crazy when it comes to email, and I don't even recognize who you are. I'm going to tell some other kind of tricks for the last couple of minutes here with Mailchimp. There's a creative studio, which is new. So if you are ready, this is called a creative assistant. All you have to do is put in your website. This is my friend's website. He uses my account just to play with it, but it'll pull in your colors. It'll suggest some designs for you. All you have to do is just put your website in. It'll pull in your logo, your colors, your images, and suggest some things about your brand. So it'll create, it's kind of like a intelligent system that will help you create a brand kit. So it'll pull in your logo, your fonts, your colors. If you don't have time to, get creative in terms of marketing. I know it might be like 2 different ways to get creative, but this will help you get creative in terms of dumbing it down just for marketing purposes, is what I like to call. Your campaigns will always be here. Every time you send a campaign, you'll look at your reports. I would like to, again, highlight that you can build websites with Mailchimp. They do have free options. You can create an online store or even appointments, like I said. And to create an online store with Mailchimp literally takes a couple, maybe an hour or 2. You start with the product. See, it says 5 to 10 minutes. You set up payments. The payments are through Square. And then you literally hit publish. and you can start selling your products like today. So if you got inspired on Father's Day and you want to start selling something, you can get up and running like literally today and get really excited about growing your business, and Mailchimp can help you do that. Let's see. Again, Content Studio is where you store all of your assets. As Mailchimp 101, again, use the creative assistant. It'll help you create some designs. It'll pull in all of your products for you. This is a dummy account, so it has a lot of random stuff. But you creatives probably use Photoshop or something better, but you can also edit images in Mailchimp as well. Let's see. I'm going to go to a couple other things just to show you how you can connect integrations. This is my favorite thing in Mailchimp. And the Eventbrite integration is probably the coolest one. I know Dedrin and we talked about that pretty often. Right. But if you're running events, if you're doing anything with Mailchimp, if you have an online store, like for those folks who are using Shopify, or if you have your own website with Squarespace, I know a lot of folks are using that on the creative side. Just make sure they connect with Mailchimp. So that way that all of your data from those platforms come into Mailchimp, and so you can use all of the channels in Mailchimp to market. You shouldn't have email addresses in Squarespace or Shopify or WooCommerce and then none of them come over to Mailchimp. Like, that doesn't make no sense whatsoever. You want all of your data. You can use as many tools as you want. Like, no one's saying to use all of Mailchimp's websites and tools. Like, sometimes you might choose a more robust platform, right? You might have better needs or more advanced needs that Mailchimp can offer. All you have to do, use those other tools, connect that data at least to Mailchimp, and then you can start using those other channels. So just use Mailchimp as a CRM to collect the data, but you can start to use those other like websites and other channels just to collect the data for you. So hopefully that helps. So this will help you at least get started. Just make sure you connect everything first. Hit this create button. It'll help you from creating your campaigns to landing pages, to surveys, to ads, to forms, to social posts, which I'm going to create one really quick because that's probably the coolest thing and easiest thing in Mailchimp, where you can create a post in Mailchimp, schedule it on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and be done with it. Just select an image, hit insert, save and continue, and you can select different whatever. I have my church and a whole bunch of stuff that I'm admins of. I'm not going to post, but you can see, like, you just hit schedule or finish later, whatever you decide to do. But who knew that Mailchimp, an email marketing platform, historically would have the ability to also schedule social posts, in the long term. So all of these things you can do. If you're a one-person show, stop doing it all in a million platforms. Just learn how to consolidate, and then you can save some time and even automate. That's Mailchimp, 501. We'll do a class on that hopefully with Subsume later when we have a longer time. But automating is the next part of this. I did want to ask if anybody from the audience had any questions, anything that they would like to see in particular, or Dedrin, if you wanted me to share anything quickly.
Oh yeah, I think the idea of, and I think you shared it for audiences. I feel like that's just a great tool. As I just posted, for the crowd to, of course, if they have any questions for Monica, by all means, look at the point. But just overall for audiences, Jeff, what is I think we know the advantages of it. Can you elaborate? Do audiences travel over to the other parts of Mailchimp, or is that strictly for the mailing side?
Yeah, I'm going to actually pull up an audience, right? So I didn't really I was trying to do Mailchimp 101 without going in.
The advanced purpose. That's okay. That's all right.
Yeah, but I'm going to go into an audience for you and show you. So This is one audience that I have, and I've been collecting the first, last name, address on my sign-up forms and things of that nature. And this is a dummy list, so excuse the QA bot here. But if I click on one person, it's basically kind of like a Rolodex, is what I like to call. So it's gonna keep basically everything about that person. So if this person had been opening and clicking all of my campaigns, it would show all of that data here. So that's why it's so important to have the email address added, because we're gonna not only add them to your audience, but we're gonna track everything that they do so that you can market to them. So if they're not opening your emails, we let you know, because you might want to show an ad to them, right? To get them to do something or to come to your event to purchase your product, versus, you're going to talk to those people who don't open very differently to people who do open. So it's not just now, it's a very different layer. Now it's not just an audience. Now you're talking to the audience very differently based on their activity, right? So that's why an audience and keeping them in a CRM is so important, because it allows you to track them. We are tracking everything they do for every channel, not just email. I'm talking about postcards sent, website visit, website click. I mean, it's crazy how stalkerish the internet is, but it makes it very cool for marketers to oh wow, I didn't know that they knew I was interested in these socks, they add a cookie, so now I can show you something that you're interested in, because you've come to my website and now I see everything that you've ever viewed. So it's just our way of tracking everything about everybody.
So lastly, I think a good question of tracking, how can we ensure that we're being policy compliant when dealing with clients and databases like this? I think we also get a lot of times that, data breaches, or, I don't want to give my email out, or things like that. Is there compliance things in place already that we can ensure customers or guests that, using this service meets those expectations?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good question. Especially for folks with international audiences, like the UX is pretty lax in terms of security and data, but other countries are not. So they're very serious about email collection and things like that, and cookies. So if you are cooking people when they come to your website, if you are collecting email addresses, those disclaimers have to be on your website, and it has to be very clear, and they have to accept those terms and conditions, right? So nowadays, if you go to websites, you see now you have to accept that you agree to add their cookies. If you're doing that, you need to add those disclaimers too. And you need to be very clear that, they've agreed to be added to your mailing list. So it's all about clarity. Don't be sneaky. If you're going to grow and do marketing the right way, you want fans who aren't ashamed to be on your list, right? You want to get emails the right way.
Very well said. All right. So I'm looking to see if we have any final questions, but likewise, I think we're getting close to our time for just this quick introduction of the 101. Any final words of encouragement for those who are now, now have this wisdom of what they need to do and how they can use it with Mailchimp? Any final words as far as utilizing this service?
Yeah, I mean, Mailchimp is official sponsor of Subsume, so we're very excited about that. Personally, I'm more than happy to help anybody one-on-one, so you can just email me at jocelyn.hardy@mailchimp.com. I'm happy to set up a class, another detailed workshop that helps me learn Mailchimp faster, because we're changing all the time. So I'm learning every day, just like everyone else is. So feel free, if anyone does decide to do that, I'm sending some swag along. I also send some swag to Dedrin for folks who might have some questions that they send to him as well. So looking forward to hearing to folks that are using Mailchimp and helping them grow their business. So glad to be here.
Oh, absolutely. No, Jocelyn, we thank you for your expertise and willingness to share that with our community. So we'll absolutely be setting up one of our name brand Subsume sessions where we can bring you in and have a deeper dive and have a more interactive and succinct class. Hopefully as a series of classes like we kind of talked about,
We
where we
will.
can bring folks in. So no, that's definitely part of the future. So with that, I want to say, no, just if there's anything else, I will check your screen there and just say bring you in full view. And just as I say thank you, and I appreciate the the direct support, of course, but then obviously the partnership and for us in Subsume trying to be impactful in our community, both from a creative and cultural standpoint. So I mean, as you said, it's the idea of having something to say and then being able to make sure that it's said to the people that need to hear it. So
Right.
that's and think of thinking of the ways to better myself and my brand. I'm grateful for yourself and Mailchimp, being a quality solution and giving us a point of sustainability. So for that, and of course, for our community as well. So we want to thank y'all for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you're doing. It's been awesome. I'm looking forward to staying tuned for the rest of the day. So thank you.
Jocelyn, I thank you so very much. Again,
Uh,
Jocelyn Hardy here with Mailchimp. Thank you again, and have a great day. And happy Father's Day on your family side as well.
Thank you. Y'all
But yeah,
take care.
take care. All right, and that was Jocelyn Hardy, just stopping by to give us that Mailchimp 101. Mailchimp as a email and connectivity tool is a solution on many fronts, and for us as creatives looking to stay included with not only our own work but with the people who want to engage and support our creative and technical endeavors. We wanted to make sure that we found a partner, and again, thankful for Mailchimp for that partnership, but we'll have some future engagements that we'll set up virtually, as well as in person as those times come in the future, to be able to sit down and make sure that we as creators are building a path of sustainability. Again, for us here at Subsume, the idea is to stay included, not just be included. So what we want to do is make sure that your art and you are in their most survivable and thrivable circumstances. So again, very excited for that. And what we'll look at here is coming up at the top of the hour. We'll look to come back in with some more programming. We are full swing with our Subsume Film Festival, and we'll be bringing in some young creative talent there. And then we've got some new announcements of our projects with Subsume later on in the day. It being Father's Day, again, we want to be kind of appropriate and appreciative of the fathers and men in our lives that are impactful, are present, and are powerful in the ways that they make us the best versions of ourselves. So, for the fathers and for the dads and for those who fill those roles, we do thank you so very much. Appreciate and honor you on this Father's Day, as we've been celebrating that along with Creative Juneteenth as part of Subsume Summit Series. Thank you so very much. I'm going to turn it back to our programming as we get things set. Again, we appreciate y'all's patience and being here with us on day 3 of Subsume Summit. Just a couple of last announcements before we head into the next break. Want to make sure that you're aware that we do have over 40 vendors available in our virtual space, complimentary entrance. All you need to do is go to subsumesummit.com. Again, subsumesummit.com, register and enter inside this virtual space. On the website, you'll see some easy instructions of how to be included in that spot. But also, we still have our guap coin raise as well as our NFT auction for 6 pieces of Juneteenth artwork, first of its kind. We're gonna hold on to that. I don't know many more Juneteenth NFT sales, so we might be historic in that sense. But with that, we have a legacy artist in place already. Then, so we have Keith Cross of Daybreak fame that has brought his pen and his talent and his passion to 6 pieces of collectible art commemorating the weekend. And by investing in just as little as $20 of guap coin, you can also be a part of that legacy as well as learn about cryptocurrency and the NFT marketplace. So again, what we're looking to do here with Subsume is to make this a point of education as well as entertainment when we're looking at how we can survive and be successful in our technical and creative legacies. So with that, let's try to make a transition here. I'm still trying to get my computer together, see if my son can come in and teach me how to use Scratch. And then, yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff. So we're trying to get some animation projects in. Please take a look at our schedule at subsumesummit.com. Again, subsumesummit.com, and we'll be right back.